Hey, Book Dragons, I am so glad that you're here with me today. I'm bringing a book tag to you. I was tagged in the Book Reflections tag by Joe and Mary over at Book Buds. And I'm really excited to do this tag. I don't know who created it. And when I watched their version of the video, I don't know that they know who created it either, but it's a really cool tag. So I'm excited to do it, and I've got some great books to talk about while I'm doing this with you. So I will say that a lot of my books are packed up, right? So for the ones that I don't have physically or that I read on ebook anyway, you're going to see a picture here on the screen of the book, and I'll tell you a little bit about it, okay? All right, so the first question on this tag is to show a book that challenged you, and that would be The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien. That book was so difficult for me, and I know it's challenging for a lot of people. The level of language that is used in that book is extremely challenging. And I feel like I have a fairly strong ability to handle complex books, but that book just really, part of it was that there were so many endless genealogical records talked about in that book for the histories of the families of Middle-earth and Numenor and things like that. But I don't know, the complexity of the language just really was a challenge for me. And I'm glad I read it. I did finish it. I'm glad I read it. I don't know if I would read it again, at least not physically. I would do the audiobook with Andy Circus because I feel like that might be a good way to experience it again, but I don't know if I would ever read it physically again. Definitely a challenge for me. All right, we're moving on. Prompt number 2 is to show a book by an author that you love. And I will put up The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. She is absolutely one of my favorite authors, and just like you might imagine from the title, it is about a circus that shows up at night, and only at night, and it just kind of appears in random places. It's a magical circus. It's so much fun. The writing is just beautiful. The story crafting is whimsical and inviting. I just absolutely love The Night Circus, and I highly recommend it to anyone to read. Show a book that you'd recommend to everyone. Well, I just talked about The Night Circus. I would technically recommend that to everyone. But I would also recommend Dune to everyone. I think as a reader, if you enjoy fiction, Dune is an absolute must-read in the genre of science fiction. It kind of strides the line between fantasy and science fiction, but it's mostly science fiction. And it's just such an epic story following Paul Atreides in his journey to become the prophesied Kwisatz Haderach, the prophesied Messiah. And you've probably seen the movies, at the very least the newer movies by Denis Villeneuve. You might have seen the original movie as well, and there's nothing like reading the book that the movies were based on. It's a very different experience in a very good way, I think. Prompt number 4, show a book that made you cry. And I want to cry just thinking about it. But that is Hyperion by Dan Simmons, specifically The Scholar's Tale. As a parent, that character's journey crushed me. And that's all I'm going to say about it. I mean, all of the characters are great. There's some masterful storytelling. It's my second favorite science fiction novel of all time, that and Fall of Hyperion. I'm not going to say any more. I want you to read it. I really do. I hope you will pick up Hyperion and enjoy it as much as I did. and have the emotional moments impact you as much as it did me, I feel like that book just changed me. That's all I'm going to say. Prompt number 5. Show a book that would make for a great buddy read. Well, okay. Fool's Assassin by Robin Hobb. I think this would be an excellent buddy read. And I should know, because I did do it as a buddy read. I buddy read this book, as well as all of the Realm of the Elderlings up to this point, with Danielle over at Bookara, and it is a fantastic series, and it really makes for a great buddy read, because there are so many moments that you just want to put the book down and call your buddy and say, hey, okay, this just happened. Are you there yet? We need to discuss it. It's such a great series. This is just one book that I could possibly hold up. The entire series is a great buddy read. All right. So moving on to prompt number 6. Show a book with a really good plot twist. And I'm going to put The Animal right up here. The Animal by Chad Nicholas. All of Chad's books have great twists. This guy is a master of the twist. This book in particular had 2 major twists. And I did not see either one of them coming. Chad is a master of the plot twist. You really need to read Chad's books. They are phenomenal. All right, so we're moving on to prompt number 7, show a book that you struggled to finish. That would be American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. I did finish the book, but it was a real struggle, and I'm actually sorry I finished the book. I really should have DNF'd it, and I didn't. I just kept going. It was a gift to me from my son, and I didn't want to not finish the book and at least give it its just due to see if I liked it. And I just, it was an awful book for me. I get the draw. I can see why there might be people out there that love that book, but oh God, it was just brutal for me. And I would not read it again. I unhauled it, and I told my son, thanks. I appreciate you getting it for me. It was not for me. And he understood, thankfully, but, and I do like horror novels, and he knew that I liked horror novels, so that he got it with good intentions, right? Okay, we're moving on to prompt number 8, and that would be to show a book that you think is underrated. And for this one, I am going to go with Gunmetal Gods by Zamil Akhtar. I really, really enjoyed this book. I was encouraged to read this book by Fina over at Fina Reads. It's one of her favorite series. I have not read the rest of the series yet, but I think it has really, really strong potential. The first book in the series was really excellent, and I am excited to eventually read more books in the series. And I don't see it talked about a whole lot on BookTube, and so for that reason, I'm going to say it's pretty underrated because it needs to be talked about more. More people need to discover it. It is quite a wild ride. So I'll leave it at that. Discover it for yourselves. Prompt number 9. Show a book that you cannot wait to read. And that would be The Full Moon Coffee Shop by Mai Mochizuki. I am so excited to eventually read this book. It seems like a really cozy read, something that I'll want to use as a palate cleanser. So maybe I'll pick it up after some of my more heavy reads coming up. I just started Dr. Sleep by Stephen King, and I have a feeling I might need a cozy read after reading that book. And it's basically about, it gave me Night Circus vibes. The Full Moon Coffee Shop has no fixed location, and there's cats in the story. So, I mean, I love cats. I love cats. So, I think this is going to be a really great read, and I can't wait to read it. All right. So, we're going to the last prompt here, and that would be show a book that you would love to see adapted into a movie or a TV show. And maybe this is already getting an adaptation. I haven't heard about one, but that would be The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. I really, really enjoyed this book. It's about a young woman who gets a letter notifying her about the death of a rich relative, and she feels like it's a case of mistaken identity, and she goes on this journey of discovering who she actually is in relation to this mysterious Mrs. Westaway, and she finds so much more than just a potential inheritance. It's such a wonderful story. I highly recommend it, and I would love to see this get an adaptation. I think mysteries lend really well to adaptations, and I would love to see what they do with The Death of Mrs. Westaway. And I want to read more Ruth Ware books. This is the only one I've read so far, but I plan to read more because she's an excellent writer. All right, so now I've got to tag some people. And I'm going to tag Theo over at Rekindled Reader. I haven't seen him do a tag in a while, so we're going to throw that his way. I'm going to throw this out to Jessica over at Jessica's Library Card. Wonderful channel. If you have not watched Jessica, you need to. I'm going to tag Alyssa over at Heartwild's Library, and I'll tag Mona Lisa over at Mona Lisa Reads. Give her another video that she needs to get done. And I will tag Anna Marie over at Distilled Reads. So that's the end of the official people that I'm tagging. But if you want to do this tag, feel free. I tag you as well. And let me know if you decide to do the tag. Tag me back. And I would love to see your version of this. And thank you to Joe and Mary for tagging me. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Make sure you read more books, and I will talk with you very soon.